artistic side, because God is beautiful. So with truth, there's always beauty, always. And the Islamic faith, traditionally, is just pouring with beauty. It's just so much beauty. You see it in the architecture, you see it in the hut, you see the beautiful mosques, and the music. We have sacred music. Barakah is a celebration of 1,000 years of music. None of the tracks are new. None of them are new. Only one piece is traditional but is new, and that's the Barakah, the title track. Everything else, I mean, it's the music, traditional sacred music of Islam, but it's from different parts of the world. So from Algeria, Morocco, North Africa, Persia, the Kurdish region, Turkey, Yunus Emre, Qawwali, incredible music of Qawwali, and all these different types of, sacred songs are the fountainhead. The inspiration is the faith. I mean, if you want to go deep, it's the Quran, it's the book of Revelation. And the authors of these poems, qasa'id or lyrics, poems, were all knowers of God, mystics, lovers of God, ultimately knowers of God. For example, Rabi' al-Adawiyya, the great saint from if I'm not mistaken, the 10th century, double check. She was a lover of God, and she would roam around, just all she wanted was to be in solitude, to be with God. She famously said, I don't want, oh God, I don't want you out of fear of hell. I don't want you out of reward for heaven. I want you for you. I want to be with you. But these were all people who loved, and the tradition, one thing that's paramount, is absolutely critical to understand, is that this tradition, like any other tradition, any great tradition, always, our forefathers built, they didn't destroy. For example, the dome of the mosque, it's not from Muslims, from Coptic Christians. Muslims took it and they developed it, they added to it. And similarly, Greek philosophy and so much from different traditions, were synthesized, brought together, and they made it their own. They left that which they felt was alien to their worldview, and they kept much of the great traditions of the old, of the world. Nowadays, what you find is the antithesis, the exact opposite of everything I told you. And people need to understand that what you see in the media is the exact opposite, the antithesis of tradition of Islam. These people destroy tradition, they destroy beauty, they outlaw music, they destroy shrines, they burn books. They are totally modern, and that is what needs to be understood and appreciated. The correlation between extremism and medieval Islam is non-existent. There is no correlation. There's nothing that's more disturbing for me than to hear that these people are medieval. Medieval is Ibn al-Haytham, it's Al-Hazan who discovered how the eyes work. Kitab al-Manadir. Medieval is Farabi, it's Ibn Sina, it's Fakhruddin Razi, it's Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. Knowers of God, lovers of God. They built, they didn't destroy. If only these people, these extremists, were medieval. There's nothing medieval about them. They're totally modern. Anyway, the idea of a barakah essentially is to educate and live in that barakah, the barakah Muhammadiyah, the grace that emanates from the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. I hope that's true. I tried my best, and I take no credit for this music. I didn't make the music. This music is from the past.
Sami, before we end off, I should ask you one more question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think there's a chance to gather your musicians together, your fellow artists? People have been asking here, just because of a very
problem
rendition
too.
of Mast Qalandar? Not just yet, in a second, in about a minute. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want to ask you one question.
On one condition though,
Yes.
it's not a condition, it's a request. Make sure to purchase the single, right, Ben?
That's right. Mast Qalandar is now on iTunes in the UK. Don't you remember iTunes? Mast Qalandar, if you please do purchase it today.
You know what someone said to me? The other day, someone said, I get confused with Apple Music
Yes.
and iTunes. People get confused because you can stream it as well.
Yes.
But purchasing it is better.
Yes.
So you need to physically go onto iTunes or click on the link.
Of course. And if you do want to
Buy
buy
the
the
single.
album as well, you can buy the album online. And please do remember that the booklet comes with the album. And
It does.
And that's just as important as the music,
If not more.
if not more. There's a question, something you said to me yesterday, just after the concert. You said that religion by itself, just the written words, is not is as important, but it goes hand in hand with learning the traditions of the religion. And it's when you don't learn about tradition of a custom, a culture, it goes with its tradition.
That's right.
Religion. It
That's
becomes
right.
dangerous.
Yeah, religion is I don't use that word that much. I prefer tradition. The trouble that a lot of people have in the modern world, especially immigrants like myself, and, people who have immigrated, second generation Muslims, third generation Muslims, first generation Muslims, we're cut off from our roots. We're cut off from our traditions. We have a kind of arrogance, we're British, we're modern, we live here. Why do I need to follow what my dad says, what my mum says, or his customs or her customs, their traditions? Reality is that that tradition, Islam in Pakistan, Islam in India, has been, it's a process. It took 1,000 years to get to where it is now, right? Those traditions should not be destroyed because we breathe the sacred. We breathe metaphysics through our cultures. If you take away culture, then you have something abstract, right? You don't really... But those people who say Islam doesn't have culture, this is nonsense. This is a nonsense. Of course Islam has culture. Has cultures, actually. Islam has 7 major cultures. Islam in subcontinent, Islam in Western Islam, Eastern Islam. Each one of these regions has, its own distinct culture. And, for example, somebody in Pakistan or India might make a curry. Before the curry, there's a dua, there's a prayer. As an example, that's important. That needs to continue. That has to continue. In Azerbaijan, we throw water on the ground when someone's leaving. Or people walk, they hold the Quran and you leave the house, the Quran is put over your head. This is not, that words thrown around. Bid'ah, it's silly. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's not in the Quran, it's not in the Sunnah, but it's part of our culture. Now, that has to stay. These modern guys, they say all of that is a nonsense, Islam doesn't have culture, it's just rules, Sharia. It's not true. Ordinarily, I wouldn't talk about these things. I'm not a preacher, I'm a musician, I love this music, but I feel duty-bound to tell people who are a little younger than me, perhaps, that you shouldn't listen to those people. Tradition is alive, it's not something that's dead, and we're trying to revive it. It's nonsense. Tradition is alive. But unfortunately, us modern people, more modern people living in the West, and some, people in the Muslim world, the urban cities, for example, we're cut off from our roots. There's a very famous saying once from a sage who said, we sit and we talk about metaphysics and philosophy, we try to intellectualize God, and we try to write all these different treaties, on the sacred. Yeah, a simple fisherman in Morocco has more faith than me. Because we're trying to be, but they are. I don't know if you have internet.
Yes, we still have internet.
Anyway, I'm talking too much.
Yes, can I just say that
Yes.
shall we, everybody, buy the Baraka album?
Buy the Baraka album, and buy Mast Qalandar, the single,
Yes.
and we will do an improv where everyone falls asleep. Everyone's
Shall we say that we'll be back performing in about 5 minutes' time? So ladies and gentlemen, in 5 minutes' time, please do switch on. We will perform Mast Qalandar live on the way to Glasgow. So thank you very much, Sami.
God bless you. Pedro. Obrigado.